This video is made possible by the EA Creator Network. So I have Drumbum back with me, and we had our Apex Legends ranked wish list. And now, after we have a lot more information, now that we can talk about it, we're going to go through a lot of changes. Here's a list of things we're going to discuss for today. We're going to discuss the fact that ranked splits are coming back, the MMR system is gone, healing outside of zone has been nerfed because of the new crafting system, armor changes impact on ranked, the RP returns with a better laid out detailed system of like what you're getting. We're going to talk about the R301 buff, 30-30 nerf, skill tree reference to another video, EVA 8, no new legend, new LTM, and yeah. So let's get into it. Let's start with the beginning of the list here, and we have Drumbum, our man. Thank you so much for taking a little bit of time. I'm excited to break down these changes with you.
Yeah, dude, let's get it's just perfect timing too, because we just dropped our video about what we want to see, and now we see what's coming. So
exactly, it's a segue. Let's see what we got. So I mean, the first thing I think you mentioned this at the beginning of the video, rank splits coming back. What are your thoughts on that?
I did. Oh my goodness, they heard me screaming from the mountains, Daz. They heard me, bro. It's my number one. It's my number one thing. That's the first thing I wanted to change in the rank season was splits to come back. One, selfishly as a streamer and a creator, it's just way more engaging to have, you know, the ranked splits end faster. But really, I think it's way healthier for the game and longevity for the game. So people want to play longer, or excuse me, people want to play like for the entire split and then have their split reset and then they come back and play again, rather than they hit the ranks that they think they should be at and then stop playing for 3 months. I think this is the best thing in the world when it comes to just longevity and like engagement of player base and engagement of players. Me personally, like, I'll get less bored, so I'm super excited for no rank splits for sure.
Major dub.
This is rank splits. I mean,
yeah, across the board, this is all just major W's. I call this W's of respawn. They're hitting it perfect now. I'm big
absolutely.
Golf clap. Very excited. Another W. Happy. Speaking of W's, there's going to be a lot of W's in this video. MMR ranked gone. Meaning the matchmaking, the forced matchmaking. You be in gold, and all of a sudden you're matching against nothing but Preds and Masters. The fact that's gone. Right. What do you think?
I mean, the whole issue with that in the first place was that it felt like rank didn't mean ranked. Like it mattered none. It mattered null that if I was in Masters or if I was in Diamond, but the teams I'm fighting were gold because their MMR is decent. Now, like, your rank is what you are at, regardless of your skill. If you got to that rank, you should be playing people in that same rank. That's the whole point of ranked, and they brought it back, and it's a huge W for the game. I honestly think that it's the best possible decision they could have made is to get rid of MMR. They tried it out. This is the thing. I always give Respawn the credit. They always try things out. Like, they'll try something out, give us some time on it, see if the player base really enjoys it or not, and decide to switch it up. And I'm very glad that we're going back to a ranked-based rank system.
Agreed. I couldn't agree more. The fact that now players know what a gold rank means. That I mean, I also appreciate the fact that they had mentioned that when you rank up, if you belong in a higher rank, you're gonna get there a lot faster. Meaning that, hey,
absolutely,
at least you're not gonna be in those ranks for too long. The content will make more sense if you're looking for guides. It'll click again. I really feel like the past, a little while, it's been a real struggle for not just pros but even casuals just to understand, like, what do I need to do to improve, or what's going on? What is the problem? Because the game just constantly feels like a struggle. And even if you're solo queuing, at least you have more of an opportunity here to rank up and kind of know what type of lobby you're actually going to be in.
Yeah, absolutely. That's like a super big valuable point, is that you can recognize like where you are. Like you said, like people will be able to get to their respective ranks a lot sooner, instead of, there might be a situation where a player is a good player, but they're in silver and they're kind of stuck there because they're in pred lobbies fighting the people they should be fighting, but not yet because they haven't reached that time in rank. So I definitely think that you're absolutely 100% correct, that people will be where they belong and enjoy the process a lot more. Apex ranked is the most addictive part of all of Apex. It's the most enjoyable part of all of Apex. So the fact that, it's better now for not only the people at the higher ranks, but even people in the lower ranks to really enjoy their time, I think it's awesome.
I don't think people also realize the next thing that I'm about to discuss is that healing outside of zone has been a major problem in Apex Legends ranked. It ruins the competitive integrity because it takes the game from fighting or even going to zone to just being outside of zone. So just so everyone in the audience understands, is that I'm going to overlay footage here, is that a crafter doesn't craft guns, you can't craft your armor, and you can't spam healing. There is no materials. Straight up, you go to the crafter, you either spit out, you can get your banner if you have your teammate's banner, you spit out only one med kit, one battery, or just ammo. That is it. And Drum Bum, this is an elegant solution because this means that healing outside of zone is gone. Straight up. People don't, I don't think people realized when they were discussing that they fixed that problem. We fixed the problem of people healing outside of zones. I mean, what were your thoughts on when you saw, let's say you were playing ranked. I know you saw this many times and you died.
So many times.
You saw a Loba with like 16 medkits and you saw a lifeline just spam healing.
Yes, it was every time, almost. There was a point in the rank grind this season that it was almost every game that either if I would die, I would randomly spectate a team way out in zone, or I would be top 2, top 3 in zone, zone 3 or zone 4, and have no idea where the other team was. Well, they were 30 miles away in a POI on the edge of the map just crafting. And then they just leave the game and I get first place. It was just so unfulfilling and unrewarding. So I'm super, super excited and super happy at the fact that Respawn decided to take this, like you said, in an elegant way. I think, one, crafters are, as a player base, a lot of times we get really dependent on crafters and dependent on those situations. Now they're still good. They're still usable, but they can't kind of be cheesed anymore, even within, outside of the zone healers, just in the base game. And even if you're playing the game correctly, it kind of forces you to rotate a little bit faster and play off of your POI a little bit differently. But more than anything, it's an exploit. People were exploiting. And the last thing that I know that we want as players to deal with is more exploits. And the last thing that EA and Respawn want to deal with is more exploits. So I'm super happy to see this gone. I hope nobody finds a way to cheese it, but I think it's a great solution personally.
Yeah, I agree, because there's no way you can end up with 16 medkits. And as well, I think the loot pool also feels richer because those items aren't stuck in the crafter. We have 2 extra guns that are always on the floor, and we have 2 extra attachments. None of those days like, I can't find a 3x. Where is it? Oh, it's in the crafter. You're going to find it in the loot pool. And that's going to segue me to the next point, because this is a very controversial change, and I definitely want to hear your thoughts on it, is the armor changes. So these are now called cores. You're going to have to get used to it. When you see the icon, you see a core. They are removing armors from the loot pool, and it's just all experience based and leveling up your armor. Now, this is a tough one because you have to understand that even when you loot an armor, let's say you have a red, it'll deplete down to white. Now, if you have a red armor and you pick up a white core, now that heals it up and you won't ever lose your red if you drop it and lose it somewhere. You're always at that base level as long as you pick up a core. It's like your Iron Man in a way. You have the armor's the same, just put in a brand new core. Right. So I pass this to you. What does this mean for ranked? What are your opinions on this impacting even a little bit outside of that, just the player base? Because I've seen the reaction already of people discussing it, a little earlier than they should. Let's just be honest, because obviously this is all embargoed and now it's here. What are your thoughts on this?
I think it's super, 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 super interesting. One, as like a player who I armor swap a ton, like all the time. Like in the middle of fights, I lose my reds left and right, especially in ranked, especially if I'm trying to get ready for a third party, trying to reset really fast. I lose my red a lot. So there's a part of me that's very, very fulfilled and happy that whatever armor that I've gotten to based on what I'm doing, I'll have that armor no matter what. And that makes me really excited. It's definitely going to be a big change, something that we all have to like really get used to. It's something, we haven't seen an armor change since Evo armors were introduced. I mean, almost 3 years ago now, right? Evo shields were introduced in the game such a long time ago. Yeah, it's been a long change. Yeah, so we've gotten so comfortable with it. A lot of times, majority of the player base now might not even know that there was a point that Evo armors didn't exist. You could play a whole game out with a white armor, and just because you never got another armor. So this is the first time we've ever seen that changed, and it's definitely like the same thing when Evos came out. We had to get used to it. This is going to be a definitely something that we have to get used to. But I personally do like the change because anything in Apex specifically, like this game at the end of the day is a battle royale, and a battle royale, to be successful in a battle royale, it takes a lot of skill. It's a game that is based around there's only one team that can get first place. So the fact that your armor and the things that you have that determine your ability to have an advantage or a disadvantage in a fight is based off of what you accomplish during that game, I think is a really big positive and may kind of deter some people at first, but if they give it a chance and realize like, oh, I have to do damage or I have to do these things to be successful to get my armors up, regardless of I can't just armor swap I can't have one kill and armor swap off a guy and automatically have a red and be in an advantageous situation. Now you have to like do the work to a degree. You have to do the work. So I enjoy this change. I think that it'll also help the kind of situation of armor swaps in a 1v1 situation. Like you can armor swap and get, let's say I'm on a red and I'm fighting somebody else on a red and they don't get cracked, but I get cracked and I armor swap to someone who has a blue. I still get to keep my armor, so it's still respectively in the fight situation. They might miscom their call out on me. They'll be like, "Oh, he's red, you know, thinking that I have 200 plus HP when I really don't. I think there's so many things that can come with it. So I'm excited to get my hands on it and really, really dig deep in the actual game and play it with these new changes. But so far, in my opinion and understanding of it, I really enjoyed it.
I think one of the most exciting things that we're going to see as well is off drop. You're not going to run into a situation where you have purple or somebody else gets a purple and you are in a situation where you didn't get an armor. Now, somebody could, in theory, rush to blue, but they're not going to have this massive advantage over you, kind of removing some of the random number generation that we run into. It's just a consistent streamline of who is better and who is going to come out on top. I think that's something that people don't realize that they're fixing along with this. And again, I'm just along with you. I'm excited for the change. I think this is as revolutionary as the Evo change that they made way back, and I think people will get used to it. And it's not just about doing damage numbers. There's a lot of different ways that you can level up your armor. In another video, I'm going to break down more how you level up your armor, and I'll cover that in the skill tree video. Now, another thing we're going to break down real quick is the return of RP and the better layout of details. Now, everyone has always been wanting more transparency. How do you feel knowing that they're about to be more transparent on what points you're getting and how you get them?
Yeah, I'm a fan. I'm wholeheartedly a fan. Sometimes, you know, we get lulled into, especially someone who plays a lot, we get kind of lulled into our expectations. We kind of hop in the game and say, this is what's going to happen, or this is like what it is. But now that we have, like, we don't have to guess anymore. It's very much so in our face what's going on, what your RP is based on your kills, how much the value of those kills are. Like we said at the very beginning, shout out to EA for allowing us to do this. I got to ask the question, as time goes on, as placement goes on during the game, does the value of your kills change? Because we've had so many different styles of ranked in the 5 years of Apex. We've seen everything from, you know, my favorite split of all time is season 13 split 1, where your kills didn't even matter until top 10. So every game was very, very late game dependent, rotating the zone. I felt like I was playing in competitive, which was the most enjoyable to me. But we got to find out, you know, I asked the question, how valuable are your kills as time goes on? And we were told, and it stated, like, your kills do count early, but they are more valuable the later that they are. So and we can see that depending on your RP straight up. It's right there in front of your face. So I'm super excited to see RP back. I think it's the best way of managing and managing your rank and understanding how you can gain points. I think for somebody like Das, who makes amazing guides and rank guides, it'll be a lot more clear how to explain to people and to help people rank up. I think there's so many opportunities that come with having RP back, especially in the manner that they're bringing it this time, that I think it'll hold a different level of value too. I think that people will actually really care about their RP and how much they're gaining per game.
Agreed. So I'm going to speed run some additional changes. I agree. So I got nothing else to add to RP because I'm just excited. It just feels like we're going back to a form. All we're listing here, it just feels like it's just W after W after W for respawn. So I mean, I got no complaints. This is all great. Like the R301 is going to get buffed. The 3030 is getting a slight nerf. So
Go ahead. That the 3030 is getting a slight nerf.
Yeah, so a reduce in the ammo count overall. So, you know, at the end it's got 10, but also it doesn't have like double reload, you know, so just kind of pulling it more in line so it doesn't feel like it's always like an instant shotgun, instant way to fight. Great. You don't want a king at long range, short range, and medium range, right? You need a bit of a balance there. But also the fact the R301, I feel so bad for the gun, but the fact that it's got a point of damage back up is, I know it doesn't seem like a lot, but it does make a massive difference when you hit somebody with, let's say, 16 bullets. That right there is already enough to potentially knock somebody, right?
Right.
The EVA 8 is going into the care package. We don't have a new legend, but with all this stuff coming with the skill tree, I recommend check out the other video. Drumbum is going to give his thoughts on a few of the most popular legends. We do have a new LTM coming out called Straight Shot, which I definitely recommend checking out because we have a full gameplay video where I break down everything that's coming and make some references to this video. Also, I want to wrap up the video as a whole. we saw it come out early, and they mentioned it during the overall presentation that they gave us, was about configs being locked down and banned. The fact that, you know, third-party hardware is not acceptable, that this is forms of cheating whenever it is abused to the extreme. I kind of wanted to get your thoughts. The only reason I'm wrapping up on this is because we had this one early, so this one is the least biggest news, but I'm gonna be honest, have you already noticed a change in ranked? I kind of already have in the skill level of the lobbies. I'm gonna be upfront.
Without a doubt, the whole game's atmosphere has changed. I think we didn't even realize how bad it was. Like we knew, like I knew for sure.
Yeah.
I definitely would fight people, and they would do things that were just like super insane, and then they would just stand still on my death box. As I'm like, that's not possible on this input. I don't know what's happening right now. Like what's really going on? But the whole landscape of the game has definitely changed. Obviously, there's still a ton of benefits to playing on whatever input that you feel is the best for you. Obviously, like controller does. Aim assist is exactly the same. I know a lot of this Respawn made it a point to talk about these configs, like specifically on controller, but there were a lot of configs that were possible on mouse and keyboard too, that a lot of people can't do anymore, which is for people who work really hard, like myself and Daz. I have 8,000, almost 9,000 hours in the game, and a lot of that is just on pure self-improvement on movement and mechanics. I know Daz does the exact same thing. We're both nerds like that, or we really want to just get better every single day. It makes it more fulfilling when you know for a fact that the things that you can execute that you're naturally doing, other people can't mimic, you know, fakely. So yeah, the whole landscape of the game is I think, like you said a couple of times in this video, man, everything from these rank changes coming next season, as well as the, you know, the skill tree that we're going to talk about in a later video. There's so many W's I really think, and at this point, I'm just going to be super frank with you, man. And I know a lot of the people watching this video might feel the same. Apex has been in this weird limbo spot where we kind of feel like we're either on the verge of greatness or on the verge of a downfall. And it's been a little stressful, and it's been a little, because we love this game so much, we want it to be great. And we know that it is great at its core. There was just some issues there. But seeing, I mean, the back-to-back information of the configs being gone, ranked getting a massive facelift and a buff, in my opinion. You know, all these things coming to the game, the balancing of weapons, the buff in the R301, like you said, the nerf in the 30-30, things that make the game a little more enjoyable. W after W on Respawn's end. I can't lie about it.
Yeah, I'm super pumped for the new season. This is the most excited I've been in a long time, and I feel those were amazing closing thoughts, man. Amazing. But guys, if you've heard all his thoughts so far, I'm gonna put everything, pin it in the comments and also in the description. Go follow Drumbum on his Twitch channel. Be sure to follow him on his YouTube channel. He makes amazing content, stellar content. You got to keep pushing him. Comment that you want more from him, because he makes great content, man, and you got to watch everything that he's doing, because in season 20 he was already a demon and ranked. He's about to pop off even more. This man grinds. He told you how many hours he's got, but he's a grinder. So please go check out his channels.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it.
No worries. But thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to leave a like, comment, and subscribe, and we'll see you guys all in the next one.
Subscribe.